Okay, bottle stoppers. This is the block of wood I use. It's 1.75 by 2.75. And the reason why is you want it to go into a bottle and you want the bottle to still go in the refrigerator. So if you make these too high, it'll never fit. So that's a good size to go with. The bottle stoppers, you can get cork, you can get neoprene or some sort of rubber. You can get like this one here. This one's chrome plated, so it pits if you use it with wine or anything that's caustic. Or you can use this one, and that's a Ruth Niles, and that's stainless steel with a food grade rubber. So this is the best one, and it's only probably $1 more than this one, although this one's longer, so you get more metal. But the nice thing about this one is you can stand it upright like so, and I make it so you can stand it up like so. I want it to go either way. So you have choices when you buy one like this and you make one like this. So they're pretty simple. So we don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need this. No, we don't need this. So how do I make this? So I put the block of wood in like so. Get this out of my way. I already tightened this, I believe. Yep. And what I'm doing is I'm just creating a flat surface. That's a 1-inch Forstner bit. The only time I've ever used a Forstner bit is doing this. I don't use them. People use them to hog out a lot of wood when they're doing hollow forms and stuff like that. I just don't bother. So that's all I do. So now I have a flat surface. And the reason why I want that flat surface is so when I screw this on, this is going to sit nice and flat against my piece of wood. So it doesn't matter how wobbly this is flat, and I'm going to show you the next step. And now I'm going to just drill and tap for that. That's 3/16 maybe? 3/16 18. It's written down right there. Chucky. No, the little chuck key. That's a big chuck key. And I know I got a little chuck key right here. So now I got my flat surface. We don't need this anymore. Drilling. I'm going to use a number N, which isn't a number, that's a letter N. And that's a little bit smaller than a tap drill size. And I like that. This is soft, nice red cedar soft. By going a little bit smaller, I can still tap it and still have plenty of thread in there. If I go too big and it's really soft, then you just wind up pulling out that thread. So I like this size. I don't know what the metric is or what the decimal is on that. I bet you this gentleman might. Yeah, I think it's 307. I think. And Ruth Niles is the person who makes that, and Carl Jacobson is the person who's selling them now, because Ruth is in her 80s and she doesn't want to. It's kind of funny. I called and she said, "How'd you get my number?" I said, "Oh, it's on the webpage. It says your number." She said, "Oh, it's not going to be there for long because Carl's taking over. Because I'm in my 80s and I don't want to do this anymore." So basically what she's doing is she's letting Carl sell the stuff, and he's going to give her all the profits till he ends up paying for that, for whatever it costs to do it, because he said, "I don't have that money." No. Do you ever do any with the metal insert that you No, I've only started to do these for this past month. And the only reason why, I was at a guy's house and he was I was buying chucks, and he had a lot of really nice stuff he was just getting rid of. And then he had a box of bottle stoppers and stuff. And he says, "Do you make these?" I said, "No, I don't make them. I don't make pens." And he says, "Well, here, take these. If you don't like it, give it to your club." Yeah, yeah. No, I've never done that.
They're not hard to work with. I think it's 15, 30 seconds hold and it presses in with an acrobatics, works great.
Yeah, but what I'm going to show you how to do works just as well. I have a little black mark here, so I know how deep to go, because you're supposed to go a little deep. There's little stops if you want. You can do something like this and have nice little stops, and that's fine. But if you put a black mark on there, it works just like this, and it doesn't matter that much. So let's start this back up. I don't think I tightened that. I did not. And I could tell because I was holding the drill and it was going through my hair. I was going to hold it tighter, but I said, why don't you just tighten it? Right up to the black mark. And the reason why it's better to have it tight than hold it, if it catches and starts spinning, you're holding really sharp metal. And that would look bad in front of you all. You know, okay, I'm not listening to him anymore. Okay, we don't need this anymore. No, we want to need this. Okay, what do we need? CA glue. A little bit of this stuff here. This is taped on because there was a cap to this, but somebody said their shop is a mess. Mine is too, but the difference is I can't find anything. And this is basically a measuring cup without a handle. And it worked perfect because I just don't want this thing to go off while I was traveling. So what I do now is, because this is nice and wet, one more thing here. Okay, where is it? I swapped caps because I didn't want this leaking either. So what I'm going to do is squirt some of this stuff in here. That's the thin, heavy thin, it's called. And then I'm just going to spin it on, centrifugal force, makes it go into the wood a little bit. And then, just to make sure, we give it a little shot of that. Because the other thing is, you do not want to run a tap into CA glue. Because if you do, it will get stuck. Just so you know. And then I need this here. And I also have this marked, you know, so I know how deep to go. And what I want to do now is bring this here.
So did you just do the CA glue to harden the wood?
Yes, just to give it something to bite on so I'm not just tearing out all the fibers. So this is going to help hold that grain together. And then I go like so. And then there's this little dimple here. And with this little live center, that will just keep it going in straight. You don't want to go like so, because if you do, it doesn't work right. You can, and then funny thing, you can go like this in metal or wood, it's still not going to work right because it's going in the wrong direction. So this just helps it. That's all we're doing, it's just helping it go in straight. I do is just try to catch it right there. Now there's there. Except the thing about this is this doesn't lock by itself. And you don't want to turn the power on. You want to do this by hand. And my lathe, I can actually lock it, and it will stay locked. This, I gotta hold the button. I can't hold the button, I can't do this and do that. It's too many things. But basically, all I'm doing is trying to go like so. And that just keeps it going in straight. And I go about halfway. That's about halfway. And back this off a little bit. Now, basically, you want to break the chips out. That's what I'm doing now. I go halfway, and I don't just tear them out. I just give it till you feel like it's free again. And when you do that, now the chips are and now I can finish the thread. And if it were metal, and I did that, and I got to the bottom, and I tried to back it out, it wouldn't back out because the chips are saying no way. As compared to wood, the wood, I'll just tear all the threads out. And you don't want that. Again, you want the threads to hold. Yeah, I'm right up to my spot. Get this out of the way. That's what I'm going to do. That's why I didn't go far. So this helps it cut. And now, by going in with another dab of CA, and now I will go with my air compressor and blow all that little crap out of there. And now I'm doing the same thing. Yeah. Turn it on. It helps move that around. And then too much CA? No, I mean, you can just fill it up if you want and then re-drill it, I guess. But what I'm doing now is I squirted that in and made sure the CA is in those threads now, and now I'm just going to go back through with the tap. And that just cleans up any kind of little crap that's in there, because there's still crap in there, and the CA made that crap hard. And so now I just want to go back in. It's really no big deal. You're just going to go in, clean it out. And it's heavy thin, not just thin. And I think heavy thin means it's heavy. Yeah. So that part's done. Now there are a couple types of these doodads. This one here is for Ruth Niles bottle stop, because this diameter is this diameter. So when I turn that, I turn it right to here, and that will make this go nice and flush up against that. And now the other one, which is this, it has a bigger diameter. You can see how much bigger that is, but that means that this is the gauge I'm going to use if I'm going to use this one here. So that way, again, you can see here it's not fitting right. This was actually cut for Ruth Niles, and actually Ruth Niles would fit on here really nice, but then I wouldn't be able to show you this, or show you how it doesn't look right if you don't do it right. I'm going to explain. We're not there yet. So now you have to watch. And then I'm going to show you how that's done. I'm also going to show you how this is done, which is, I think this is just awesome looking. And it's really simple. It's almost like magic. This button right here. There we go. Okay, we're not going to need this anyway. Now I bring it tight to the shoulder. I don't crank it, because you know what happens if I crank it? I pull all those threads out. But now I'm going to just put this over here just for support. It won't hurt it. And now I don't have a rough and gouge. I just don't have one. I have it at home. You know, so how do you make this thing round without a rough and gouge? Wait, you're going to come and tell me? The skew. And he's going to show you how to use the skew next month. I'm probably going to show you how you're not supposed to use the skew tonight. And what I'm going to do is a peeling cut. And that's basically, I just put this here, come up and make contact, and you'll see it just tears the thing up. Really nice. Yes? Oh no, I don't. I was just like making like a joke. I was doing my best. Well, and I thought that was like almost like a good joke. You know, because, and you're not paying for this. You know, when you go in a symposium and you're paying like a lot of money to sit and listen to somebody tell jokes about the family history, it's like, I don't care about that. Show me this. So that was just a joke. Okay, I'm up high, so let me bring this down low. It's okay, I got it. I need my face mask on. Thank you. There we go. Okay, and again, this is, I just bring it, come back up, and then I swing it back. So I know this is round. That's good, that's kind of round enough. Oh, yeah. Now the next thing is I want to make this kind of round like so. And I'm going to do that with the skew because he didn't show us how to do this yet. That's next month, but I'm going to do it the way I've been doing it at home, which is probably not the right way. What I want to do, you can always skate with one of these. It's really easy to skate. You just get ahead of the cup, and then it'll just come the other direction. But as long as you stay behind the cup, it's not going to come back at you. So basically all I'm going to do is, again, put this on the flat surface, and basically just come like so, and then roll it over. And I roll it over, and then I get my cup. Roll it over, get my cup. Roll it over. And right now I'm just trying to get down near that, my metal shaft. Yeah, that's pretty good. And now I can come back this way. Again, I'm resting it, nothing ever happens on the bevel. You know, so I'm just basically resting on the bevel, and now I can roll it over. And then once I roll it over, now I get a cut. And that's as far as I go with this. I can go further, but then because I'm so busy watching you people watch me, I will screw up. And then now we're going to go with, this is a spindle gouge, not a roughen gouge. This is more like a finishing gouge. And they talk about the bevel, and ride the bevel, ride the bevel. And when you go, they teach you how to sharpen, they go like so, they blacken this out. And when you blacken that out and you put it on your grinder wheel, you find out that where your bevel is, and that's why they do that. But you know what else you can do when you do this? You can find your bevel here. Because when I first started to turn, they kept saying, ride the bevel, ride the bevel. And I don't even know what a freak bevel was then. So I don't know how you're supposed to ride it. But if you blacken it, and you just come up, and now you can see where it's worn. It's right on the bevel. You know, it's not right on the tip. If I'm up way high and I come like so, then it's way up high. I'm on the tip. I was showing, I have somebody come by and I show her how to basically do this stuff. And I show her how to do it, and then she's doing this. And then I said, why are you doing that? You know, bring this down here. Well, I want to see. I can't see. I can't see. So she's always up like this here. And that's why I said, well, wait a minute. I'll just blacken this just like it is for sharpening a tool. Now you can see where you're supposed to be. And she sent me a picture of a bowl she just made today. And she's pickle pink. It actually came out good. Because the first one she was making, they were like just square. Flat bottom, square walls. Basically a dog bowl. And I said, that's a dog bowl. She said, yeah, I love these bowls though. It's okay. The only reason why you love them is because that's all you can make. But if you, but once you learn how to make something else that comes out nice, then you're not going to do this anymore. And so she brought a nice one, nice flare out on the top, a nice round bottom, just a nice little 10-inch bowl, just a really pretty piece. It came out really nice. That's on her new lathe. I talked her into getting a Powermatic. I had somebody that was actually selling a Powermatic at a really good price. And I told her, you know, here's this Powermatic. I think you should get it, you know, because it seems like you like to do what you do. And I don't know if you can see what I'm doing is I'm riding the bevel. I come up to the bevel, and then I turn this cutting edge into my wood and just walk down. And I'm walking downhill. I'm not going up this way. When I come over here, I want to get this up here wrong. So I just roll it over. And now I can come back this way. And next month, when Rick does his demo, he's going to explain why you go downhill and not uphill, because he's good at that stuff. And the reason why I'm holding this way up here is because the bloody lathe is as far as my head. My lathe at home is down here, you know, so I can do this at home. But unfortunately up here, I gotta be up really high. And again, you know, once I'm on the bevel, nothing ever happens when I'm on the bevel. You know, so I can just ride on the bevel, and the only thing is it's hot. But then once I turn in that cutting edge into the wood, now I can just roll it down and just make a nice little cut right here. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Just try to bring them two in. There. I think I can go back here just a little bit more. That's a perfect one. That's pretty good. Now, we don't need bits here anymore. And now I just want to shape the top of it a little bit. And what I'm doing is I'm putting a nice little cup in it, just like you would the bottom of a bowl. So when you sit it up on the top, it's going to sit on the outside edge. And then when you're doing, look at your form and see what you're doing. Right now, I don't like this right here. It's a little sharp right there, so I'm going to roll that so it gets a nice, better roll to it. But if you're looking at your form all the time, you can see things. But now I'm just going to roll this down a little bit. Here. I'm not going to do a lot of this. Just clean it up a little bit. That's 220. I think this is 400. This thing says 2375, but I don't know when I'm at home because I don't have a thing that tells me. I've got a $10,000 lathe that doesn't tell me that. I have to guess. So what I do when I'm at home is I go as fast as I think I should. So I don't even look at that here. You know, I just know this is how fast I want it to go. Okay, we got that part done. I don't need this. I have with me this stuff. And this stuff is something that I make. And it's not what this is. It's the container that I put my stuff in. And basically it's a mixture of tung oil, walnut oil, a couple of waxes, oldies. I mix them all together and give them a nice little twirl like that. And then I just a little brush. You don't need much of it. There. And what I would do at home is I would just let that set there. Now, Mark asked me if I would do 2 of these. You still want me to do 2 of these? Okay, I can. And I'll do the other one a little different. So I'm going to just take this off. Then I'm just going to let all that oil soak into there nice. And then I'll do basically a friction polish to it. Oh, I'm going to do a snowman now with a hat. So it'll be different than that. So this is a little more involved. And this will be a little bit more of, if you watch what's happening to your wood, I don't use a ruler, I just make stuff. This is a piece of maple, nice piece of hard maple. Break it in there. Move this out of the way. Oh, hardwoods do better than softwoods, but with that CA glue, they all work pretty good. And then I always crank my speed down. When I put a new piece of work in, I bring the speed down and bring it up in case something isn't right. At this point, okay. Thank you. That's a forcing a bit. It doesn't want to go in really fast. It'll slow it down some. This minute. And this is hard maple, so I'm not going to bother putting that first coat of CA. It's not that important right now. And I'm trying to hold your attention before I get to the magic part, because if you drift off, then you won't get to see the magic. And when you're putting that tap back in, you want to make sure it catches the threads. Otherwise, you're going to have a double set of threads in there, which isn't good. It can be done, but you're not looking to make that happen. Or no threads. The bottom line is it won't work. There. Okay, now I want to put.
We can start now.
I still put the CA glue in now, because that'll stiffen up that thread. And again, I do have an air compressor at home to do that, which is really nice. I was talking to somebody at Reed's house the other day, and I kept saying American air compressor. That's what I have, an American air compressor, American air compressor. I got home, I don't have an American air compressor. That's not what it's called. It's called a California air compressor. Thanks. It's called a California air compressor. And they're supposed to be really good, but they're quiet, and that's what I like about it. You've got one, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the one I got, I almost got the bigger one. I almost wish I got the bigger one, but I didn't, because there was a difference between the bigger one and the smaller one, price. And I said, okay, I'll be happy with that. That might work better. Raise that up here about like so. Again, I just press it down, find my wood. See, nothing happens if I stay on top of it. As soon as I bring that cutting edge down to it, That's close enough. Just a little bit, bring this back away. No, I still want to make a round bottom. The same thing, nothing happens when I'm on the bevel. It's when I bring that cutter up to the edge. Go back to this guy right now. 'Cause what I want is the head to be right here. And when I say I pay attention, I can see my hat already starting to form. Yeah, it's really hard. Now, this is a detail gouge, a fingernail grind on it, nice and pointy. So I can do a lot of little things with this. And so actually I need that band. I want to have a little band over here, so I want to get this out of here, out of my way. Like so. Want a little undercut on my that's going to be my band, and now I want to bring this down to my band. Because I don't want to use this one. Yeah. Do the same thing up here. This is the top of the hat, so you want a nice little cove in the top of your hat. Now, if I were home, I'd take my potting tool and I cut right there, and I would have a nice flat for that bead. And then I'd put a little cut the top and bottom of that bead to give a nice separation. And then I would fix this up a little bit better too. But I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to find this stuff. Now, I'm so glad. Oh God, look what I did. I tore out his poor hat. This is an old hat, that's why. And it's a snowman, which means you gave it to him because they don't want it anymore. It's a junk one. So here, you go use this one, kids. This is just a red marker. I'm just going to come back over here. There, give you a nice little red band. And that's another big one. These are the ones with nice big tips on them. So these. And you want to do this by hand. You don't want to turn on the lathe because it ruins the tip. There. And then I do this one too, but we're not going to do this much anymore because I tore it all. There. And that's it. And if I were home, I've got some of that, it's a paint that's in a little tube. It's called puff paint. And you put a little dab on and it puffs itself out. So you got these little dimples, everything is a little here, it just puffs out. So you put it on and then I just throw a crappy piece of, I don't even know, it's stuff in a rattle can and it comes out clear. So I don't know what it is because I don't read it. I just know when you shake it up and you get a shiny finish, and that's how that happens. And then the top of it, I'm not going to do that now, but the top I put little swirls in it. I'm showing you here, but I think I can show you like this too, right? Well, if there's little swirls, you can come see them later. Okay, we're going to get rid of that now. And we're going to go back to that red cedar. We don't need this here. Now I gave it a chance for that oil to soak in. And this is so, I wasn't going to use it, but then you would see what would happen. And I don't want to show you what happened. Any oil that didn't soak in, and I turn it on, so this protects me. Now it's spinning really nice, and so now I'm just gonna. It's getting nice and hot. I can feel how hot it's getting. And then this is also that, it's man-made cloth, so it's kind of like plasticky. So because it's going so fast, it actually melts a little bit. And I think that improves my finish. this is the Ruth Niles bottle stopper. And now somebody asked me about these. And was just, maybe that was ash. I think that's ash. A plain piece of wood. So instead of just putting an oil finish on it, like this nice piece of cedar, you don't want to ruin that with color. This is a plain piece of wood. So what I do is I put this on my rotisserie at home. I built some rotisseries and it just spins at 4 revolutions a minute. And then I put epoxy on here. And then while it's still wet, I use this alcohol ink. And you only need a drop of it. But it's a drop and it spreads out like oil on water. It's almost fun. And the rainbow look, you know, so it just goes, and then you move it around. And as it's spinning, you put another drop, change colors, put another drop. And in this one here, you can see I didn't use many colors because it's mostly green. But I brought this one to show you how neat it can work out. As it's spinning, you know, you've got these colors. And then the other thing that will happen is because you got primary colors and you got red and blue, and I think that makes green, and then you got the other one that makes orange. And that's what happens. That's where this orange came from. I didn't even add that. You know, so you just get different colors. It turns dark in spots, and it's really neat. So as it's spinning, you know, you've got these nice little feathers that are going on around here. It's really neat. It's nothing you're going to make happen. It's something you're going to watch happen. And if you're not picking the right colors, you're going to watch yourself make a mess. That will happen too. But otherwise, you can do pretty neat work like this. And this is an epoxy inside-outside finish, so you can actually use this as a real vase. And that, I believe, is the end of my demo. Thank you.